And welcome back to Studio 122. I'm your host, Vicki Christopher, and today we have the pleasure of having our guest, Dr. Kent Montgomery, join us, and we are going to be talking about the planetarium, correct?
Correct.
Correct. But first, we are going to show you a special little feature about the planetarium so you can gain a little bit more knowledge about it.
Hello, I'm Dr. Kent Montgomery, Planetarium Director at A&M-Commerce. Looking for an out-of-this-world experience? Have you ever wanted to visit another planet? Well, look no further. Yes, that's right. You can travel the outer galaxies without even leaving your seat. Come experience an all-senses-filled presentation about anything and everything about stars, planets, solar system, and let your imagination be the limit. Don't get bug-bitten by sitting in your own backyard waiting for the next shooting star to pass by. Instead, come get an action-packed show with meteor showers and even black holes. The planetarium has a 40-foot dome and a Digistar 3 all-digital projection system which fills the dome with sights and sounds beyond imagination. The planetarium's 87 reclined seats immerse the audience in a space environment filling their vision and appearing to take them beyond the confines of the Earth. You can make reservations by visiting our website or calling us at 903-468-8650.
I have to tell you, Dr. Montgomery, that's some good narration in that PSA there.
Oh, thank you.
It's always hard to hear yourself from another perspective.
It
we,
is.
We don't
you sound funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
You sound great. You don't sound funny. I'm like, I bet that PSA brought in a lot of business, okay? Who runs the planetarium?
Well, I'm the planetarium director, but I have an assistant, and but most of the work's done by students that are there helping us. We have about a half dozen students that come and run the shows and make sure everything happens.
Are these students getting paid, or is this
They
like
are. They're
labor laws, labor laws.
And they enjoy it. We usually have more people that want positions than we have positions.
I'm sure. I mean,
It's a lot of fun.
I'm sure it beats a job at the library.
Yeah,
no offense to
or food service, yes.
Food service. Hey, I work at a restaurant. It's not that bad. Yes, it is. How are the shows produced?
We actually get our shows from other planetariums, much larger planetariums that have big staffs that can produce the shows. We don't have a large enough staff to produce many of the shows, so we lease them over. We usually lease them for so many years, and then we show them several times. We show them on Friday nights at our public shows, and we also use them when we have school groups come in to see the shows.
Do you have a lot of school groups come in?
We do. Actually, about 70% of our audience are school groups that come during the day, and we have all kinds of field trips, and they can kind of come see whatever they want. We have a whole selection of shows they can choose.
Well, awesome. And so you just kind of touched on it. You show them on Fridays. How often do you change the features?
Yeah, we show them every Friday night, and we change shows about every 2 months so that there's always something new coming up. A month and a half to 2 months, it kind of varies, but it's kind of like, you know, once you see well, within a month there'll probably be a new one, and you can come back again and see something different.
And I'm assuming, since you run this show, you've seen all the features that are actually playing.
Oh yeah, in fact, I'm the one that
answer.
chooses what the shows are.
Oh,
and
okay.
spends the money and decides, this is the one we want, and we don't like this one. So.
All right. And you said that it's open to students, high school students and stuff, so I'm assuming it's open to other people in the community?
It's open to anybody, yes, from little kids all the way up to old people.
Old people.
They get a discount. If you're senior citizen, it's only $3.50. Other people, it's $4. So
that's what I'm looking forward to, really, because
the
there
discounts?
are senior citizen discounts. Yes, please. All right. And so, what does the show consist of? Or what are the shows that you're featuring right now consist of?
Right now, we have 2 different shows that we're showing. We're showing one on the Aurora, the Northern Lights, and it's called Experiencing the Aurora, and we're showing one on Violent Universe. The Experience in the Aurora is a really neat one. They took a show where they took cameras out to, I think it was Norway, and they spent months out there just shooting pictures of the sky. So you can see the northern lights moving and changing colors, and it completely fills the dome, and it's really fun to watch. So.
In person, have you ever seen those lights?
I have. You gotta remember I grew up in Montana, so we used to see them occasionally. Further north, anything further north, you have an advantage. I also went to Alaska and saw them too.
I could tell that you didn't have the same southern drawl as most people around here.
No, even though I've been in the South for 15 years now, I never get that.
Oh, we'll get you.
Eventually, maybe, yes.
And what's the other show?
It's called Violent Universe.
Okay.
It talks about all those violent effects that could affect the Earth, things like supernova explosions, asteroids hitting the Earth, or gamma ray bursts, all kinds of nasty things.
But our chances are slim that this will actually occur, correct?
Yeah, we're not worried about it. Astronomers are not worried about it.
No, you little people who aren't educated in it. We're like, gotta get gas.
Don't worry. I think 2013 is coming, and we're going to be okay.
Yay! So I don't need to go buy batteries.
Well, you can if you need them anyway.
No, like an overabundant amount. I don't even go. Okay. Can you describe an experience watching a feature at the planetarium?
Yeah, the neat thing about a planetarium is you get in and the seats are reclined back, and so you sit back and you get this full half dome over your head, and so you see all the sky fills your vision. So off to the side, you can move your head around, you'll see different parts of the sky. So you feel like you're outside actually experiencing it, unlike just seeing a movie where you see it in front of you.
Correct, and I was telling you earlier, as a student, getting to be in a classroom in that environment, and it's interactive, it's so much better than just sitting in a chair at a desk and learning, and you're very good at instructing your classes and keeping the students involved and wanting to be part of the class, so you do a great job at that.
Well, thank you.
All right, well, what other astronomy events are coming up?
Well, in June 6th, there's something that doesn't happen very often. There's a transit of Venus, where Venus passes across the disk of the sun, so that you see this little dot going across the sun, which you can only do with solar filters on a telescope. But it doesn't happen very often. Next time, not for like 120 years, so you probably, none of us will be alive to see the next time this happens.
I'm like
so
dead.
It's kind of neat.
I'll be dead.
And so we're going to actually have our observatory open, and we're going to let the public come look through our telescopes with the solar filters and to actually see this occur. This is on June 6th.
June 6th. Okay, and you, so that's not the only day during the summer, though, that you show features, though, or is it?
No, that's actually out at our observatory.
Oh, that's
every Friday night we show, the planetarium shows. This is a special thing that's happening where we use our telescopes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, well, yeah, because I've been out there. It actually is amazing. I didn't know how to use some of the equipment at first. I didn't want to touch it. I was scared I'd break it. But yes, it's actually a very awesome place. Okay, so it's right outside of town.
Yeah, it's about 5 miles south of town.
June 6th, y'all. We've got to go, and you won't be alive to see the next one, unless you know something I don't. All right, and is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about the planetarium before we leave the show?
Well, it's just, if you've never been to a planetarium, you need to come see it. It's really neat. We always start the planetarium shows where we point out the stars and the planets and stuff. Right now is a great time for looking at the night sky, because if you look out to the western sky, you'll see both Jupiter and Venus. And then if you look to the east at the same time, you'll see the red Mars over there. And so all three planets are up right after the sun sets. And you don't get that option very often. Most of the time they're up at different times, and you don't see them all at the same time. So it's really neat to see.
Well, everybody, make sure that you make a trip over to the planetarium to watch a feature. Dr. Kent Montgomery, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
You were awesome, and I will be listening to your PSA on TV. I'm sitting next to a star, y'all, no pun intended. Thanks for joining us on Studio 122. I'm your host, Vicki Christopher.